I'm that girl who is absolutely in love with life because I understand what is going on for all the lessons and experiences that are needed in these times for everyone to have what we would call the grand awakening, for us to experience all of the range of emotions and eventually overcome them with lessons from those experiences. So it is extraordinary times and it's all very purposeful. And as we know, when people are experiencing those range of emotions, at some point they get so fed up with that frustration, all of that confusion, that they actually stop playing with those emotions and start thinking, why? Why is this all happening now? What is the significance of this? How could this be allowed? Many spiritual people know that we have guides who protect us and support us. And so many people are thinking, why on earth are they allowing all of this to happen? Don't they understand how hard this is? Don't they understand how gross all of my feelings feel? Why aren't they here to help? And many people will say that to gods or to Jesus or to whomever that they feel is responsible for this shit show. Say this with love. So let's break this down so we can understand it from a metaphysical perspective. So everything that is happening in your life is perfect, purposeful, perfect, beyond perfect. You may think, pardon me, how on earth could you say that to me? It's not perfect. It's bloody hard and I'm not enjoying it. And I say to you then, yes, I see your choices of seeing things overwhelmed. I see your choices in holding on to certain emotions, but what are you going to do with them now? Does it serve you to hold on to that density, to struggle, to feel disempowered, to feel isolated, to feel upset, angry, all of those challenging emotions? When you've done feeling into them, what are you going to do next? And that's the key of what do you do next with it? Because it's taking you off balance. It's certainly not keeping your vibrations high. So moving forward, what next? Yes, you can keep feeling those emotions forever, but we can't. To evolve and to grow and expand, we can't keep feeling those feelings. We can acknowledge them, we can understand them, we can definitely accept them because that's very significant. All of your feelings are very valid and we can accept all of your feelings. They are experiences that need to be honored and have gratitude towards, because without those experiences, what is left to explore and experience in the third dimension? It's all about emotions. It's the fun part of coming here in this lifetime to be experiencing a third dimensional life with all of those fun flavors of feelings. This is not what you get to experience when you are those higher dimensional beings. And when we connect into our guides and we ask them what is going on, they see things from a very higher perspective without the emotions. So they see all of the purposes, they see all of the significances of everything as it is unfolding. Trust that we would not be experiencing the things we're experiencing in our lives if it wasn't for our embitterment. Don't go into victim mode. You can for a little bit, but I recommend overcoming that. That is the most powerful thing, to overcome being a victim, to overcome disempowerment. And only you are able to control your mind. Only you are able to control your feelings. Only you are able to control your emotions. And while we have the tendency to blame others for our choices, we are more powerful when we acknowledge to ourselves it's all within our own control. It truly is. It truly is. So do we take the bites and the triggers that people are trying to give us? Or do we see, I'm not going to play those emotional games with you because that will take me offline and will not keep me in balance. So see all of the things as lessons. Trust that once you accept the experiences and overcome them and not get distracted and not lose your control of your mindset or your emotions, it is a marvelous thing to have that inner peace. So food for thought. As I ponder and reflect on what the teams would like me to say to you today, they would like me to do a channeling because of a question that someone has had, which is about understanding why there are so many suicides around the world. And I understand this can be such an emotional, heartbreaking situation for those who are impacted. As we know, also, we've been trained to be afraid of death, to think that death is final, and it's the worst thing that ever could happen to a family or to a person or to anything. And again, experiencing those feelings are very valid, but in the truth of the matter, we have many lifetimes. And this is just one mere page of a massive library of books that could have the history of our souls and our souls' journeys. And so while we're very attached to this one page of who we are today and the lifetime that we're living now, when we can see the truth, when we know the truth, the veil of forgetfulness is very purposeful. And so many people think, this is not fair. I want to know my life contract. Why do I have this frustrating thing of the veil in my way? I want to remember who I am so I can enjoy this life better. And I love that approach, and that's really cute. But the lessons we want to have for this one page of this one lifetime is to forget who we are, put that aside, and let's just pretend we're just a human, having a human life and a human experience on earth right now, and with interacting with other souls who are also in human bodies. And let's just have this play. Let's just see, just for the novelty factor of our soul's growth, let's do this together. And while it feels so real and so rich with emotions and experiences, when this journey's done, when we turn the page for the next experience, all is well here. All the lessons grow and expand us. It's impossible to not experience it's impossible for us to not learn from an experience, even if you don't even master it, even if it completely flattens you and you can never, ever, ever see a significance or a lesson or a purpose to something that really just completely blows you off balance. You still have had that experience. It may be another lifetime that you learn from that. So please just value all of your experiences and trust. If you don't unpack it this time now, you definitely will when we shift or another lifetime experience. So please never, ever, ever think you've failed at anything. You haven't. You've experienced it. Don't judge what you think is a failure. I can't even say it because it's not even what we should be thinking about or feeling into. Everything has got beautiful significance and purposes. So if you're still beating yourself up for something you haven't felt like you've mastered, it may not even be in your life contract to master it this lifetime. So stop with your judgment of self. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Not everyone can celebrate you. And maybe your life lesson is for you to be the only person to celebrate you. Think about that for a second, my friends. What if it's truly about us just celebrating ourselves and that we can't get it from anyone else this lifetime? And so we must stop and reflect on ourselves and celebrate, love ourselves. So whatever you're still seeking, whatever you're still struggling with, trust that you have the answers within you when you start seeking the lessons, the significance of it. What was I supposed to learn and feel from that experience? Those are the things that are profoundly going to advance you as you start questioning all of this. You have the answers within you so easily when you trust. We have so many hard lessons we have to experience Don't let them get you stuck. Explore them, expand upon them. Love you guys so much. And I just wanted to say, I'm so excited for all the people who are sharing their journeys with me and who are saying to me that they have got really brave. They used their free will, and they decided also that they would find like-minded people in their communities. May not be exactly the same like for like-mindedness, but those people who want friendships, those people who want to connect in and create communities and have unity within their communities. And there are so many beautiful groups that have been formed to be able to volunteer at, to attend, to support, to just be there to hold space with your beautiful energies. Find the things that you find the most joy in. Maybe working with children in a volunteer status, or it may be working with animals, or it may be a community garden. Whatever gives you joy, and you know what gives you joy, find those other people who have that flavor of joy too, and connect in with them. Remember, we have full acceptance of everyone's life experiences and their approaches to the ways of the world. We don't need to hold them down and yell our truth to them. We can just be there and listen and support them and love them and just be of service that way. And doesn't it feel good when you're surrounding yourself with something that you truly love? I feel like I almost need to find a gardening club now or something like that. So for me, as soon as I opened up my mindset to knowing, okay, I think I want some community now, I have just had so many connections, and I love this. I love physically seeing people. I definitely can say there once was a time in my life where I definitely did not appreciate seeing people at all, because it just was too overwhelming. I could feel all of their fear and their worries and their density and their stresses. And I didn't understand what I was doing back then and what I was absorbing from them. And it was very overwhelming and very draining. Now, I know better for myself what my body does, and it is really helping me understand why I was so reluctant and so resistant to connecting them with people. As we know, there are so many big expansions of energy happening on this planet. Those people are being forced to grow too. And when it feels like there is this big burst of energy, this is when I feel my teams are saying to me, a lot of people have now expanded their selves to be at a higher frequency, so they're able to hear higher information. They're ready to now be able to obtain and absorb higher information. And so I'm seeing a lot of people suddenly just discovering Dolores Cannon's work as if she never existed in their lives before, which is fantastic. She's got lots of work to go through, and I recommend everyone exploring all of her books. Her books have got profound information, and quite frankly, I don't understand why those books haven't been censored, but I also understand why they haven't been censored, because they're so protected. Our collectives needed this information to be shared publicly and through her books. And so I highly recommend you finding the higher truths, and our higher dimensional beings have the bigger perspective, which gives us so much great clarity. And it they cut off the emotion side, which we are mastering, and we're very good at all of the emotions. So it is a fantastic time. I'm just going to have some water. Pardon me. Okay, so I'm just going to ask them about the suicides. I know that, well, I'm assuming that each suicide has a different lesson and a purpose and all that jazz for each individual person. So, from these sessions, unless I was asking about a specific one person or a scenario, I could get that direct information. But because we're asking the collectives, I feel like it's just the Arcturians and the Palladians here. They're going to just give us a general conversation. So I know so many people who are struggling with suicides want firm information about their situations just to make heads and tails out of it. And And I fully hope that you can trust that there is no real death. We may lose our bodies, yes, they are disposable while we're having these experiences with our souls. The soul never dies. And so when you're mourning and missing that loved one, they are there. When you think about them, they are there. They come in. It's very hard for them to see you grieving and mourning for them when they're right there, but they also understand the fun experiences of being here in the 3D and forgetting that our souls are eternal. So anyway, I'll just connect in and see what they have to say. Yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. We are here, we are here, we are here. And we do see the intensity of those grieving and at a complete loss for their loss of loved ones. And we say this is one of the bigger lessons to learn and experience from, even if they do not understand or accept or believe in reincarnation. All of those feelings of losing a loved one are very real. And this is perfect for one of those lifetimes where the veil of memory is being implemented. And so you forget that you are finite, infinite. We are also telling the vehicle other things as we are trying to send this transmission. So she's got a distraction. Pardon us for distracting her. We will slow it down. So for those people who are suffering and confused about the dramatic increases of suicides at this moment, in the past few years, actually, it is many reasons why people have been allowed to commit suicide at this time. And we say allowed because it is life contracts. They have had all different manners of ways of dying and exiting their lives. And for this last round on this planet, they have chosen to take an exit point of that point through. We do not need to. Your movies and your TV have already overwhelmed you with all of the ways people can take their own lives. And we want to remind you that you all take your own lives because you're all in control of your life contracts and how you will exit. We know the shift is a different situation, so we're not discussing that, although all of your exits are also part of your choices that you have made at a higher soul level for those experiences. So understanding all is foreseen, all is written. We understand many people feel frustrated with this and they say, it's my free will, I can do as I choose. And we say, yes, your little 3D counterpart mindset does think that. And that is adorable and that is fine and that is understanding. But when we know all of your lives and we know your contract, from our perspective, you could say we know better. And all that bothers people who feel like they are the biggest element of themselves because they're in a body and they're living this life and they're feeling these feelings and they want to be in full control. And we say there's inner work there because you're not in full control. You may feel that you can have the control and the choices of your free will and you do as you please, but we are also able to do as we please. And we are guiding you and assisting you and forcing you into the directions that you need to go. And so while we constantly are prompting you, you often think, oh, this is my free will to go here and do that. And we say with much love, yes, it is. Yes, it is your free will. And if you could just give us a little bit more respect to be able to understand our roles here, we got you there. And so with people who have egos, who want to feel that they are the masters of their own universes, we don't like to interfere with them much because it bothers them to feel that they are being pushed around, even though we are pushing them around. So that is fine. We see that often. but we do enjoy connecting in with those people who surrender and who use their free will because they listen to us and respect us and know that this is for their their better enjoyment. Those people who are stubborn and do not want to respect our information that we are giving to them on hourly minute prompting is we need to, there is struggle there, and that is experiences, and you laugh about it when you remember when you look back at your life choices and remember how you made things so much harder for yourself, and that is fine. Harder still is lessons. Harder is still experiences, and everything is significant. And we say this a lot, but you haven't almost applied it to everything. So in terms of the exit points from suicides, many cases, it is to remind those who are left that there is much more serious things going on for humanity than just a virus. People's mental health, the instability, not because they are mentally unwell, it is because they are just so lost and disconnected in some regards. Some also need to have a valid exit point to be able to get on to the next thing that they need, their souls needs to get on with. And so respect that the subconscious and the teams and guides who are supporting that being have seen it from our perspective, that this exit point in this situation is purposeful, significant, and allowed. We know that many contracts with other people can be foreshortened, so there is much to weigh. Nothing's by accident. And we are always supporting those. We have more control over exit points than you think. And many people who have tried to exit could just have a walkout situation, and a new advanced soul version of self can come in to complete the contracts that they have with others. And so therefore we want to reassure those who are still challenged with exit points from suicides. We are guiding you and supporting you, and if they have exited, it is upon our approval too, for those lessons and experiences. When someone you think has got their life going well and that they seem that they are forward thinking and balanced and influential and loved, for them to suddenly commit suicide, it makes many people stop with confusion of what on earth is going on. You may see people with smiles, but behind the scenes, you may not see what they are struggling with, or you may not see their life contracts and what they have to be doing next. When you remove the emotions from the experience and the situation and think about it from a metaphysical perspective, you can trust that the soul has decided to move on from this life to do other things. You know the shift is occurring, and you know that many people need to get ahead to help for various reasons. Suddenly, when someone commits suicide, you'll focus on your mortality and if you are truly living. So many people are afraid of death that so many people are afraid of death that they forget to stop living and experiencing and maximizing all of their experiences. And so check to see, are you still afraid of your exit point this lifetime? Are you still afraid of other people's exits for this lifetime? Do you respect all life contracts? Do you respect all others' experiences? Acceptance. Anything else from acceptance is still you experiencing the lessons and understanding the impact of an experience. We understand that many of you are deeply impacted by people's exit points because you miss them, because you want to tell them that you love them. and that you're sorry that they went so early, and you wish that you could say so many things to them and do so many fun things with them. And those souls are saying to you now, they're right there. They've never left. They've just matured. They've just expanded their consciousness back into a comfortable dimension, which is more enjoyable because it's not surrounded and dictated by emotions. They're sending you so much love. And then there is those who are angry for those who have used their exit points early without them. Honoring all of those emotions are valid, but then overcoming them is equally valid. Thinking about your emotions. What is sticking for you? What can you not accept? What can you not understand the lesson for that? So many people are afraid of dying right now because of the health scares, either for the virus or for the inoculations. Doesn't that make many afraid of death? And you would think that it would make many want to live more, maximizing opportunities and experiences. It is all purposeful to remind you that life is quite short. So what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? Are you letting it just slip by unnoticed, hoping it won't get you? You can get life, you can master life, you can accomplish all that you want to accomplish given the time span we have left before the shifts. But it's not about the travel that you really truly seek. It's about your connections with other people, to feel a part of a unit, to feel a part of a community, to feel your soul tribe again. When you truly seek the questions of what you're wanting and needing in this lifetime, it's the experiences that you want to have with others that is truly, when you break it all down, it doesn't matter where you are in this world. It truly doesn't. It is about your connection with others that you're actually longing for. We feel like we have given a perspective that we are comfortable with today, and we would like you to unpack this for yourselves. And we truly want you to do your homework, so to speak, and really question yourself and your feelings and emotions. Do not just distract yourselves with something else from our messages. Jot down what we're suggesting for you to explore with your emotions. This is your homework. This is your inner work. Don't be afraid of it. It's not going anywhere if you ignore it, and we promise you that. Love yourselves. Love each other. Choose to go into fear if you must. But at some point you will feel and realize that that flavor of emotions no longer serves you. In fact, you're quite allergic to it. We wanted to lift the mood. We love you. We love you. We love you. Please use your free will wisely. Yes, interesting, isn't it? We sort of forget that everyone, regardless of whether it's dying from cancer or a road accident, it's all our choices that we have chosen this at a higher level and part of our life contracts. We actually have quite a few exit points. When you look at a life contract, it does have many exit points, And it's sort of like depends on how the person's going and those connections and relationships. And if the soul is interested and wants to, then continue on. If they're a bit burnt out and really jaded and not really expanding to be growing, if they're kind of just struggling to get to experience the certain things, the higher selves and the subconscious will say, yeah, we'll just use this earlier exit point, because this is kind of, it's hard to explain. It's kind of and this is obviously not for everyone, but if people are taking too much energy from the subconscious and the higher selves because they're not really expanding, they sort of are learning their lessons, but only through experiences and not applying them. And so they're just, overwhelmed with everything that's happening to them in their lives. There will be a point where it's like, okay, we just had those experiences. You're not going to be able to learn and grow from them. You've shown, that's just your demeanor. There's no judgment. But it's actually a lot of energy for the subconscious to support those who are not empowering themselves through those experiences and lessons. So that's when you'll see their exit points. This is the hardest thing. So many people assume that suicides are because they're mentally unwell or, not going well. And maybe in that moment of time, they've been forced to experience that, to then take their life that way. And so it then gives those people who are left behind this great opportunity to experience all of this stuff like, oh, am I a result of this? Did I not do enough? Did I not support them enough? It's all this guilt that comes through. And remember, it's not an accident that you're suddenly faced with really personal, deep guilt, because that is a great lesson to overcome too, and experience and explore from. So everything is purposeful, and we hate, from this perspective, those feelings. Yuck, allergic to them. But for the soul, jazz hands loves it, because it can't get these experiences anywhere else apart from 3D lives. Because what's the whole focus of 3D? Emotions, and exploring them and playing with them and feeling them. Because remember, naturally, we are much more higher dimensional beings. So this little aspect of us playing with 3D bodies and playing with 3D dramas and experiences, perfect, absolutely perfect. So easy to hear, harder to apply, but I trust when we remind ourselves, acceptance, learn the lessons of those experiences. It may not be something we love, but we've learned them, right? So fantastic. And those people who are really struggling to accept their life as it is, maybe you had an amazing, perfect life in the past, or maybe you're going to have a really perfect life in the future. And this life now is just for the lessons to make that all balance out. So it is not, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Jazz hands, empowerment of self. Love you guys so much. And so thank you so much for all your sharing. I love your emails, and really heartwarming to hear how many people are truly stepping up to their callings and just mastering this life with more balance and ease and joy and grace. It just gives me so much joy. So thank you so much. Please enjoy your days.